Bitcoin has taken a little dip down here, and this is still not looking worrying to me at all. You know, one of the main things that I do want to point out before we get into the real meat and potatoes of this video is the fact that overall, yes, with an exception here, we are generally setting higher lows in this market and also higher highs. Not quite over here, but we definitely are maintaining our trend. And I think this is something that people really are kind of losing sight of, something that people are really forgetting at this current moment in this market. You know, the fact that this market is pulling back but still finding support and still generally trending higher is our golden ticket to tell us that we're still holding the right kind of structure. Now, at the very same time, we have the perfect setup here with the 4Flies dashboard here showing us that the long and short ratio still favors the long side, in that there's still more shorts across retail traders, not only on Binance, but also on Bybit right now across the market, while top traders this entire time have remained long. One of the things I've noticed is it's been very hard for people to digest the idea that this market can break higher, and I can totally understand why. You know, the thing that I've constantly been coming back to with you guys is that this $31,000 area is the beginning of a lot of resistance. This whole 30 to 40k range is very problematic for Bitcoin, and rightfully so. You know, a lot of people are going to be skeptical and actually selling their Bitcoins here. So every time we get a correction here, and every time we stay in this range anyway, that is telling me that whatever supply exists in this area, whatever supply wants to be exhausted, is getting exhausted. And that especially rings true to me because we haven't lost this range yet. So that is going to be one of the key things to look for if you are bearish. Those of you that are looking at the downside in this market, you're going to be watching to see if we lose this green box. This green box stretches from 29.7 all the way up to 30,300. You know, losing this green box would be a significant blow to the market. We've already lost it briefly here, but this was only a wick, which is fantastic. But if we lose it with a more sustained kind of sell-off, that would definitely be an indication that we've then just been distributing up here. Now, one of the things that's really important about distribution versus accumulation is you don't know which one you're in until the market either dumps or pumps, right? So everyone tries to sound really smart and say, you know, like we're in distribution right now. You don't know we're in distribution, sir, until we actually dump down. So it's one of those things that you only see with hindsight being 2020. But what we do know for sure is, yeah, to be fair, guys, distribution looks exactly like this. We've seen this many times before. Here's an example of it happening in reverse. We dump down, sideways, and then back up. Accumulation right here. Distribution looking something a little bit like this. They look the same. You know, you can't really say one is going to go in a particular way or not, and we've seen this happen in both directions as well. You know, for me though, one of the big things that, you know, just can't, I just can't be worried about this when I look at this trend, is when I see this green Ichimoku cloud. Now, this green Ichimoku cloud to me is a huge saving grace that is offered to Bitcoin at this stage, and it also, you know, it hasn't even, you know, kind of, it isn't even here yet. You know, like we still haven't even hit the cloud. We very, you know, came very close to it right here, but, you know, still on this occasion here, we haven't come into it yet. We could dump a little bit lower, we can go sideways for a little bit, and we still have support with this cloud right here. And at the very same time, we're still getting a chance for all of these kind of lagging indicators to catch up. This daily EMA ribbon now providing phenomenal support as low as 29,600. I'm sorry, as high as 29,600 now. So we're definitely catching up here. And this is something which is really important. If we haven't been able to come down and capture support off these levels yet, that doesn't mean it's the end of the world. We still have a chance to do that, and the fact that we're just taking a little bit longer is giving us a lot of time for these support indicators to catch up. So, you know, one of the things that I would really pose to you as a question is that if Bitcoin really was going to get rejected, and if this was going to be a big rejection, wouldn't it have happened by now? And the reason I want to ask you that question is because if we zoom out and take a look at this chart from a slightly different perspective, let's look at this, for example, on this chart right here. You know, typically, it's not always the case, but typically when you set major tops in the market, they look a little bit like this. You know, you don't actually trade at the tops for long. You're there and then you're gone. You're there and then, you know, for the next day, 2 days later, you're gone. You just can't hold these levels when you set these tops. That's why we get these blow off tops, right? We just don't have that right now. You know, the first time we came here, yeah, somewhat similar. This time, we've been glued to this range, you know, and you really have to kind of read between the lines to try and understand what's actually going on here, and that's exactly what we aim to do in these markets. Obviously, doing so makes us very, very profitable, and I do want to highlight to you guys that if you are interested in trading these markets in the same place as I'm doing it, the links in the description down below will be giving you over $100,000 in bonuses, so definitely do check them out if you are interested. The BingX link right here is probably going to be one of the most compelling exchanges to check out, because you've got stocks, forex, indices, and commodities all available to trade with leverage, with a Bitcoin deposit, and without KYC. That means no pictures of yourself or your ID. So great for people who are a little bit more privacy minded. And Bybit, you already know the deal, ladies and gents, remains the best exchange in the space, in my opinion. And depending on how much you deposit and trade with, when you sign up using my link in the description down below, you will be getting up to $30,000 in free trading capital. So I do want to remind you guys that those of you who've made a Bybit account, using my link, this might not work, like depending on where you signed up it won't work, but if you use my link, you know, the only way to get these bonuses is by actually depositing and starting to trade. So definitely do take advantage of those if you are interested. And if we do move it back to the market here, you know, one of the big things that's worth keeping in mind, you know, is again, you know, just reading between the lines, right? And if you read between the lines and really try and understand exactly what is going on right here, you've got a very, very clear situation of, you know, previously, you know, there's just too many sellers in the market taking control very quickly. Obviously, that's going to be happening again now, but they're just not able to drive the same power, right? So if previously we're getting rejected and then falling down instantly, but this time we're here for literally like 2 weeks now. Let's actually check how long it's been since we entered this range. Yeah, quite literally 2 weeks at this stage. You know, that can go some way in telling you that actually this market is just not responding with as much weakness to the same area of resistance anymore. And I think that is a very big deal, which is worth keeping in mind. It can definitely be a strong you know, indication of the market actually having more strength on this occasion here than we did back here, right? And this is really, really important to help us understand how likely we are to break out. Now, obviously, we don't have to do this, right? I mean, you know, what we could be doing is just, you know, getting ready for another classic Bitcoin deviation and then coming right back down, or even not at all. And, you know, maybe we continue the dump down right now. It's just not something that I think is the more likely situation. I think that, you know, the only thing we've done now is corrected for an incredibly long period of time. We have actually set a higher high, you know, compared to previously over here on a more macro scale. And, you know, now we're just having a chance to let our support indicators catch up to us. And, you know, if you've been watching me for a while, you're going to know that this is actually one of the main predictions I've been making for you guys on this YouTube channel, which is that, you know, now that we're up in this range, it's going to be good to let the market catch up and, you know, find some support around these areas. And, you know, if that can happen, that's amazing. And if not, that's okay too. You know, but I think this is a really important thing to be keeping in mind at this stage, because while everybody else is, you know, generally, it's quite clear, is leaning quite bearish. And again, for good reason. You know, this is the thing we need to understand, is like, people who are on the opposing side aren't stupid. Most of the time they are, actually. But in this occasion, they're not stupid. They have really good reason to do so. You know, but at the same time, all I'm seeing here is, you know, a beautiful trend with beautiful pullbacks and, you know, now consolidation at the top. It's a very dangerous time to be a bear, I would say. And you know, when you've got retail leaning in that same direction on Bybit and Binance, and then top traders specifically remaining long, you guys know that I have been long for an incredibly long period of time. I don't actually know where this is just from previous. I was connected to a Wi-Fi network I probably should have been connected to, you know, but I did have that picture for you guys. I don't know where it is now. I can't find it. You know, when you are looking at situations like this where you know, retail traders are all short, you know, top traders are long. I've also been long myself, not to say I'm a top trader, obviously. You know, that can definitely give you some indication of kind of where I don't want to say the losers, but the people who typically just aren't as good as traders, like where they are leaning, and then, you know, comparatively where the top traders are leaning. And to me, right now, it is hard to be particularly bearish. Now, the thing I do want to keep in mind, and this is a really important note that I don't want to miss, is that, you know, eventually these longs are going to have to close, right? And, you know, top traders understandably are going to be trading very large volumes. So when these longs start to flip bearish, it could really trigger a very, very big crash. You know, and I just think that, you know, like, imagine this. Imagine that we break out and all of these people that are naysayers right now, you know, they fucking sell their Bitcoin down here and then they buy back in up here. this is exactly the kind of setup that can result in a lot of panic, a lot of FOMO, a lot of fear of missing out here, where people just jump right into the market. If we just absolutely destroy these levels and get up to like 34k, 35k or whatever, that would definitely make a lot of sense. And again, that's just it's one of the most perfect areas I can think of for the market to just grab all this liquidity and then fuck us all, and then just continue to trend back down. So really something that I'm keeping in my mind right now. I mean, if these shorts here that we've been seeing building up do get squeezed, I mean, it would be amazing, how quickly and how high Bitcoin would probably end up pumping, especially considering how strong of a macro level this area actually is. If we do look at traditional finance, it's still looking good here as well. We have seen the whole day progress right here where, to be honest, we're still at highs. I mean, this is the S&P 500 here doing absolutely fantastic. And again, this is tradable on BingX if you use the link in the description down below to sign up. And also, other things like the dollar index, where, I mean, it's not necessarily trending lower, but it's certainly not trending higher right now, just kind of reaching the same high that it was at like last week. So it's not moving in like particularly bad ways. The S&P 500 certainly is, and the NASDAQ index obviously certainly isn't. These are just right now, these indices, to be honest, to me, just have the body language of consolidating for a little bit, pulling back a little bit before taking that next leg up. Now obviously, again, anything can happen. We can just start dumping down, and I'm still going to be aware of those possibilities and obviously prepared for them at the very same time. But again, at the same time, like how often, for how long are you going to be bearish while we're fucking trending up? Like eventually, it's not even about like being right. It's not even about any of that stuff. Eventually you're just going to bite the bullet and say, okay, I'd rather just make money right now, and I think that's something which a lot of people don't do, and that is to their detriment. The fact that I'm able to do this is why I've been able to pull such huge profits in this market, which you've seen. Again, I don't have the screenshot to share with you guys right now, but if I did, I would certainly show it. And that position is only just continuing to hold very, very strong for me at this stage here. So I really hope you guys have found this video useful. I hope you've enjoyed it very much. If you have, exactly what to do. Head up the like, subscribe, tick the bell, do all of that beautiful stuff. Check out the links in the description down below to all of these exchanges, especially the top two. These are going to be the best ones to use in the market. OKX as well, also a very, very strong option to consider, because these guys have been around for a very long time. I believe OKX or Bybit are going to be the oldest ones in the space, and definitely some of the best ones with the best reputations as well. BingX though, even though it hasn't been around for as long as these guys, is offering you such a beautiful variety of markets, and without having to do KYC as well, it is a very compelling option for some people. So check them all out. Again, want to give you a reminder, if you have signed up to Bybit using my link and you haven't got your bonus yet, it's because you haven't started trading. So go ahead and make your deposit and start trading, and you will be getting that bonus right away. I hope you have enjoyed this though. You know exactly what to do, and I'll see you all in the very next one. Cheers.